It's with great pleasure that we welcome you to the fascinating world of winemaking. Wine has always been synonymous with refinement, quality, and a sense of good taste. Over the course of history, wine has always been a respected drink. Whether accompanying a modest meal or an elaborate feast, wine is always the perfect choice. Sometimes it takes on magical properties, as it's been known to uplift the spirit and warm the conversation. To describe wine is to personify it. We talk of a beautiful nose, depth of character, and so on. There are certain mysteries to wine and winemaking, and it's a rare group who get the opportunity to discover them. This instructional video was created to show you the various stages, procedures, and pleasures of producing your very own excellent wine. Let us identify the various types of equipment you'll need for the production of quality wines. Primary fermenter lid, long plastic spoon, rigid siphon rod, flexible siphoning hose, carboy, bung and airlock, wine thief, sample container, hydrometer, thermometer. A large portion of the equipment is made of plastic. It's important that these products be food-grade plastics, so they do not distort the taste or aroma of your wine. The process begins by cleaning, rinsing, and sanitizing the primary fermenter, the spoon, and the lid with a proper bleaching detergent. It's important to know that the cleaning process be done immediately prior to making the wine. Consult your retailer for the proper cleaning agents, as most household agents are not suitable for sanitizing the equipment. We strongly recommend a chlorinated detergent, strong enough to kill germs and bacteria. Usually, these detergents do not create large amounts of suds and are easy to rinse. Once you've completed washing the equipment, it's necessary to ensure that it is rinsed with hot water to eliminate all residues. Now that all the equipment is clean, sanitize it with a sulfite solution. Let's go through the steps on how to prepare a sanitizing solution. You'll need a 4-liter container with a plastic cap, some metabisulfite crystals, and regular tap water. We now pour 50 grams of potassium metabisulfite into the glass container and fill the container with tap water. Stir well to dissolve sulfite, and you now have 4 liters of sanitizing solution. This solution should be effective 4 to 6 weeks. After this length of time, the sanitizing solution may lose some of its strength, so it is recommended to make a new solution. To sanitize, simply rinse all the equipment with the solution. There's no need to soak the equipment, as the solution is very strong and only requires a short contact period. As long as all your equipment comes into contact with the solution, it will be sanitized. Make sure to pour the used sulfite solution back into your glass container for further use. Afterwards, let the equipment drain well and avoid unnecessary handling. Let's now take a look at the contents of the kit. First, note the type of wine and the code number on the box. Now, open the box and make sure that all ingredients are enclosed. You'll find a bag that contains instructions, a package of yeast, package number 1, bentonite, package number 2, stabilizer, package number 3, isinglass. Also enclosed is a large bag of grape juice concentrate. The first step is to dissolve package number 1, which is bentonite, in water. There are many methods to dissolve bentonite. We find the use of an electric mixer will help tremendously in this process. In a clean, sanitized container, empty package number 1, bentonite, in approximately 150 milliliters of water. Blend well with the use of your mixer. If you do not have a mixer, you can use a sanitized bottle. Add the bentonite to approximately 150 milliliters of water and shake well. Once it is well dissolved, let it sit for a while and move on to the next step. Now we take the bag, holding it upright by the neck. We remove the spout cap and pour the contents into the primary fermenter. When the bag is empty, rinse it with warm water and add this to the primary fermenter. It's now time to add the previously prepared bentonite mixture to the primary fermenter. Next, add water to the fermenter up to the 23-liter or 5-gallon mark. During the process of reconstituting your wine kit, it's strongly recommended that the water used is of suitable drinking quality. This may require the use of bottled or purified water. So therefore, throughout this video, when we speak of water, we mean good quality water. Once you have reached the 23-liter mark, stir the juice vigorously. Next, check the specific gravity with the help of a hydrometer. To do this, clean, sanitize, and rinse all the instruments to be used for this test. Use the wine thief to obtain a sample of juice for the test jar. Be sure to obtain enough juice so the hydrometer will float. Now place the hydrometer in the test jar, spinning it to release carbon dioxide, commonly called CO2, which will ensure a correct reading. Read the hydrometer by looking at the juice at eye level. At this stage, you should obtain a reading of 1070 to 1080. The next step is to add the yeast. It's important to ensure that the temperature of the juice is correct to effectively develop the yeast culture, which is a fragile living organism. Use a sanitized thermometer and place in the juice for about 1 minute. It should read between 21 and 24 degrees Celsius. Now, sprinkle the yeast into the juice gently and stir lightly. Now cover the primary fermenter with a sanitized plastic sheet and hold it in place with an elastic band, or use a suitable lid or cover. We recommend that you place your primary fermenter on a table or counter to facilitate the siphoning in the second stage. Fermentation should start within the next 24 to 48 hours. This is normally characterized by the formation of foam and the presence of carbon dioxide. Take daily temperature and specific gravity readings and make a note of them in your wine logbook. These results can be used to permit a correct analysis in the event that you have problems with the fermentation. We suggest that you keep this logbook for future reference. Your daily hydrometer reading should be decreasing, and the temperature should remain between 21 and 24 degrees Celsius. If this doesn't happen, you should contact your retailer to correct the situation as soon as possible. We now go to step number 2, siphoning. The amount of time necessary to reach this point may vary depending on the temperature of your wine. It normally takes 5 to 8 days for the specific gravity to decrease to a reading of 1005. Once this specific gravity is achieved, it's time to siphon your wine from the fermenter to the carboy. Make sure that all your equipment is clean, rinsed, and sanitized. The necessity of cleanliness, rinsing, and sanitizing is one of the most important steps in the production of a good wine. Once your equipment is ready, place your siphoning rod into your primary fermenter, taking care not to disturb the sediment. With your mouth, you siphon the liquid and let it flow into the carboy. Gravity will do the rest. Continue the siphoning procedure until the level reaches 5 to 13 centimeters, 3 to 4 inches, from the neck of the carboy. We must now place the bung and airlock on the carboy. To do this, pour sulfite solution into the airlock up to the middle of the airlock and replace the cap. You will note that the liquid is pushed by the pressure of the gas and the gas bubbles travel through the liquid. This is a normal reaction and frequency will decrease over a period of time. You must now leave the wine at room temperature, 21 to 24 degrees Celsius, for the next 12 days. It's important to note the wine is not to be tested or stirred during this period. We now go to step number 3, stabilizing. After the 12 days are over, fermentation should be complete. You must now check the specific gravity with your hydrometer. You should get a reading of 0.996 or less. If the reading on the hydrometer is greater, the wine should be left for a few more days to complete fermentation. If your hydrometer is 0.996 or less, we move on to the next step. Utilizing a clean and sanitized container, dissolve package number 2 into 75 milliliters of wine. Once dissolved, pour contents of container into your carboy and stir the wine with the handle of your sanitized spoon. Stir for approximately 1 minute and replace bung and airlock. Into the same container, dissolve contents of package number 3 in 50 milliliters of cold water. Let stand for 10 to 15 minutes. After this time, stir vigorously once again to dissolve. Add this solution to your carboy and stir the wine with the handle of your spoon. Make sure to always replace bung and airlock properly. In order to eliminate carbonation in your wine, we recommend that you stir your wine 3 times a day for the next 3 days. Remember, always sanitize your spoon and replace bung and airlock carefully. Step number 4, clarifying. The winemaking process is almost complete. The only thing left is for the wine to clear. Leave your wine alone for the next 6 days. Step number 5, filtration. The winemaking process is now finished. To give your wine a professional appearance, we recommend that you filter your wine prior to bottling. There are many filtering systems on the market. Your retailer will explain the differences and the qualities of the various systems. For our demonstration, we decided to use the vacuum filtration system. We find that this system is best for eliminating residual carbonation and any suspended matter. To use the system effectively, it's important that you have good water pressure to the tap that you're going to use. Let us now look at the different pieces of our filtering system. The filter is made of 2 plastic plates, a center ring, held together by bolts and wing nuts. Once the filter is opened, you will notice that there are grooves on the inside of the filter plates. This is to allow the filtered wine to flow through. If you look at the filter pads, you will notice that they have a coarse side and a smooth side. It's important to note that the smooth side will always face the grooves on the filter plates. Other parts of the filter unit include hoses, glass carboy, and a venturi. Let us now look at how to assemble the wine filter properly. It's necessary to wet the filter pads in order for them to expand. This done, we place the filter's smooth side facing the grooves in the filter plate. You will notice the plates have wine discharge pipes. Place the center ring in between the 2 filter plates, ensuring that the intake pipe is on the opposite side of the center ring discharge pipes. Now, assemble the 2 plates together with the center ring, ensuring that the filter pads have not moved. Check to make sure that the center ring is inside the plates and not pinched on the plate sides. Affix the wing nuts and tighten them very lightly. Once you have ensured that the filter is well assembled, it's time to tighten the wing nuts. Uniform tightness is essential to the operation of the filter. Therefore, tighten 2 nuts at a time on opposite sides of the filter assembly. Once the filter plates are assembled, attach the siphon hose to the center ring. For the system to work properly, it's important that the bung be tightly secured to the carboy and that the little tap on the bung attachment be tightly closed. Then, attach the 2 hoses to the filter plates. Also, make sure that the 2 hose clamps on the discharge hoses from the filter plates are open. You are now ready to start. Attach the venturi to your tap and run water to produce a vacuum. Filter approximately 18 liters of water. This will clean and discharge any loose particles from the filter pads. It will also eliminate any paper taste to the filtering process. Now, close the hose clamp on the bottom plate of the filter to ensure that the filter fills up completely. Once you have a steady flow from the top filter plate hose, open the bottom filter plate hose clamp so that both filters operate simultaneously. Once the water is run through, it's necessary to drain the filter of any water. Do this by closing the hose clamp on the top plate and let the system vent itself for a few minutes. Now, prepare a sanitizing solution for the filter pads. The solution consists of 1 liter of pre-mixed sulfite solution and 1 liter of tap water. Run this through the filter system the same way you did the water. Once this is done, it's recommended to run another 4 liters of sterile water through the system to remove any residual sulfite taste. Once completed, drain the filter of all the water. The filter is now ready to filter your wine. It's recommended to keep the siphon tip from touching the bottom of the carboy in order not to disturb the sediment. As you get to the end of your siphoning rod, you may have to lower it to get all of the wine. It's important to close the hose clamp on the bottom plate so that the filter system can fill up. Once filled, open the bottom hose clamp to achieve maximum usage of both filter pads. You will notice a certain amount of froth in the discharge tube. This is normal, as there is a bit of residual carbonation that is dispersed during the filtering process. It should take approximately 20 minutes to filter 23 liters of wine, depending on the vacuum. The filtration process is now complete. In order to drain the filter of all usable wine, continue to filter for a few minutes with the hose clip closed on the top filter plate. The wine is now ready for bottling. Dismantle and clean the filter with a chlorinated cleaning solution. Step number 6. Bottling. It's important to note that the bottles have already been cleaned and rinsed with tap water and are placed on the bottle drainer to eliminate any excess water. It's now necessary to sanitize the bottles. To sanitize, pour approximately 1 liter of sanitizing solution into the bottle sulfiter. Affix the sulfiter pump and pump sulfite into each and every bottle. Place the bottles back onto the bottle drainer to drain. Once the bottles are cleaned, rinsed, and sanitized, they are now ready for use. Use the siphon rod and hose to fill the bottles with wine. Take note that it is important not to overfill or underfill the wine bottles. It's recommended to leave approximately 1 centimeter between the wine and the cork. After a few trials, this will come easily. Once the bottles have been filled, they may be corked. It's necessary to prepare the corks before the actual corking process. To do this, soak the corks in hot water mixed with a bit of sulfite solution for approximately 20 minutes prior to bottling. Remember, never boil the corks because this may degrade the quality of your corks. Once the corks are ready, open the corker, slide cork into corker channel, place corker over bottle, and lower the piston quickly, which will compress and insert the cork into the wine bottles. Once all the bottles are corked, it's important to note that the bottle should be left upright for approximately 24 to 48 hours. This allows the cork to seat itself properly and the compressed air in the bottle to escape. The only thing left now is to dress the bottles properly. Most of the labels available go on as easily as a postage stamp. Just moisten the back and apply them to the wine bottles. Magnifique! Regarding the enotherm, which is the plastic cover which fits over the cork, you'll find that most of them are of shrink-wrap nature. A boiling kettle may be used to apply the enotherm to the bottle. Once steam is being projected, place the enotherm on top of the bottle neck and rotate the bottle and enotherm slowly over the steam. It's recommended to use gloves for this project, as the steam is very hot and will cause serious burns. Once it has shrunk to a tight fit, the process is completed. This is the final procedure that will add a touch of professionalism to your product and give it that commercial look.